We humans, we're all the same. Every last one of us. For some, it's drinking. For some, it's women. For some, even religion. Family, the king, dreams, children, power. All of us had to spend our lives drunk on something, else we'd have no cause to keep pushing on. Everyone was a slave to something. Even him.
What is it that drives man? Is it active agency? Perhaps some kind of will? Is he a slave to this will to live, to find meaning, even power? Is he bound by his context, incapable of escaping the mental and physical prisons built around his mind, body, and soul? Or is he truly free? Is it possible, or even desirable, for him to be so free? Is man destined for liberty, or is he condemned to be so? Are we free? Do we truly want to be so? If we knew the costs to attain it, would you still want to? Conviction and purpose are incredibly powerful things. They drive many to incredible and historical feats, and yet they are often treated as absolutes, unquestionable tenets to be adhered to, and to be seen through their logical conclusion. In the course of these certainties, much damage is caused in the wake of attaining them. You thus see the irony of what may happen. At times, our conviction gives us the power to challenge falsehood, decadence, glorified ignorance, and the injustices of the current system or society. One may lament that the masses are sheep, who are mere conformists, closing their eyes to all that is wrong. By virtue of their own conviction, in attaining another ideal or system or philosophy, slaves to what pushes them forward. They may see it through to quote-unquote its bitter end, pushing it to its logical conclusion so as to complete the attainment of this ideal. Ironically, in the context of Attack on Titan, the character Eren, in his constant pursuit of freedom, becomes the greatest slave of all. For he became bound by his constant, endless striving towards this principle, this ideal, inevitably unable to break the cycle of hate. For Paradis, his home island, would eventually be destroyed, though long after his death. The least that can be said is that he bought time for Paradis to develop and thrive for at least 1 to 2 centuries, I would guess. Thus, in a twist of fate, the freedom he sought after became the greatest slavery of all, compelling him to commit atrocity after atrocity. He comes to the stark realization at the end of his actions: I am a slave to freedom, quote unquote. Oftentimes, it is what we pursue that compromises the pursuit, or to put it inversely, the pursuit, paradoxically, inhibits and prevents us from what we pursue. It may be that contemporary society is most guilty, not of literal, but of spiritual and mental slavery. We may be slaves to hedonism, to consumption, even to our own selves. Some may worship money, looks, and status, despite becoming lost in pursuit of what is temporal and perishing, ignoring that these are merely means to an end, not the end goal itself. Say, shall we tell you of those who lose most in respect of their deeds? They are those whose effort is lost in worldly life, while they think that they are doing well in work. That is a verse from the Quran, chapter 18, verses 103 and 104. Ironically, thus, the very things that we pursue in this temporal worldly life, what we think will bring about the most value, in fact brings about the greatest loss to us, it brings about the greatest decadence, and it brings about the greatest of misled and misguided pursuits. Ironically, the ideologies or philosophies we adhere to, the systems and narratives we construct, all end up playing or fulfilling this role. This may be a kind of law of unintended consequences, quote unquote. Thus, ideologies purporting to support the cause of liberty may only sustain the illusion of liberty, and in fact may deprive many of said liberty. Ideologies purporting equality may in fact create conditions of immense inequality. Narratives which purport to be in opposition to one thing or another may owe something to that thing, more than it would openly admit to. The supposed objective history of an event is thus claimed by the adherents of multiple different narratives, all with vying, conflicting claims to the truth of the matter. Theology or spirituality, rigid, extreme doctrinaire thought which may merely become a smokescreen for one's ego, arrogance or zealotry, thus denying a person from genuinely reaching the truth or the divine being who one so claims to seek sincerely and wholeheartedly. Philosophy, whereby one engages in rationalizations to compensate for what one doesn't have, or lacks rather. This is not to tell you not to pursue anything or to stop engaging in any of the above. Rather, it is not to let your pursuit be compromised in search of what you attain. Do not let your pursuit after thing become a paradox and an irony rather than a reality. Most of all, as Nietzsche would say, he who fights with monsters might take care lest he thereby become a monster. And if you gaze for long into an abyss, the abyss gazes back into you.
もう決まっている。
決まっている。自分で決めて、自分で殺したんだろ。
もう何度も試みては失望したが、未来の記憶は寸分たがわぬまま起こることは変わらなかった。アルミ、お前が言った通り、俺は自由の奴隷だ。
It's the things we love most that destroy us.